Between passports, because some rules. Nobody tells you.
Hello, I'm Vinny, and welcome to Between Passports. I believe that when we travel, we don't just see new places, we see ourselves differently. This project is about the life that happens in transit, my life and your life. After living as an immigrant for many years and listening to so many incredible stories, I decided it was time to share them with the world. So grab your bags, let's head out to today's episode. Hello, welcome to Between Passports. I'm Vinny. So this week we are going somewhere different. This week I want to talk about something that is also a profound cross-cultural experience, but also reveals a deep truth about identity and belonging. And to be honest, it can be very funny. I want to talk about the queue. Specifically, I want to talk about a Moroccan man named Youssef, who moved to London, accidentally stepped into a queue incorrectly, and spent the next 40 minutes being silently prosecuted by 6 British strangers who never said a single word to him. Not one word. They didn't need to. Stay with me. I promise this one will make your day. So, Youssef, 33 years old, originally from Casablanca, moved to London about 8 months before this story takes place. He told me the first few months were actually fine. The tube, fine. The weather, expected. The food, honestly, he was pleasantly surprised. Don't tell anyone. But he started noticing something invisible, a kind of social architecture that exists everywhere in the city, in coffee shops, at bus stops, at the post office, but that nobody explains to you and nobody writes down anywhere. The queue. Now, in Morocco, and Youssef said this himself, a queue is what he called a general area of intention. In Casablanca, if you want something, you go near the thing. You communicate that you want it. Maybe there are other people also near the thing. You navigate. It is organic. It is human. Nobody is offended. Completely reasonable. Perfectly functional. Works fine in Casablanca. In Britain, however, the queue is not a general area of intention. The queue is a covenant. It is silent. It is ordered. It has unwritten rules that are older than the NHS, possibly older than the Parliament, and are definitely more strictly enforced than either. And Youssef, 8 months in, was about to discover all of them at once. Before I tell you what happened, I need to brief you. Because if you didn't grow up in Britain, the rules of the queue are not obvious. They are, from the outside, completely deranged. Allow me. Rule 1. You must locate exactly where the queue ends and join it at the precise point. Not approximately. Not near it. There, at the back, behind the last person. This is non-negotiable. Rule 2. There is no verbal acknowledgement that a queue exists. You simply stand behind the last person. You both stare forward. You do not speak. You do not make eye contact. You simply exist in sequence, and everyone pretends this is not a thing that is happening. Rule 3, and this is the important one. If someone violates the queue, nobody says anything directly. What happens instead is a sophisticated system of micro signals, a sharp intake of breath, a slight stiffening of the spine, a very specific look exchange between two strangers who have never met and will never speak again, a quiet that communicates an entire novel's worth of disapproval in one syllable. Rule 4. The punishment for queue cutting is not being asked to leave. The punishment is being made to fill it for as long as possible through atmosphere alone. It is a Tuesday, 12:47 in the afternoon. Youssef approaches the Pret-a-Manger on Tottenham Court Road. He wants a coffee. He has 11 minutes before his next meeting. He walks in, he sees the queue. 6 people extending to the left of the counter, orderly and silent in a way that only British queues are orderly and silent. He also sees, and this is where it happens, a gap between person 3 and person 4, maybe 30 centimeters of empty space, just sitting there, doing nothing. Now, in Youssef's mental model of the world, a gap is an invitation. A gap is the universe saying, "Come, there is room, you are welcome here." He steps into it. From where Youssef is standing, this is a perfectly routine Tuesday. From inside the queue, a crime has just been committed. Person 4 is a woman in a beige coat. Let's call her Margaret, because that's exactly what she looks like. Margaret has been queuing correctly her entire adult life. She has never been late. She has never cut a queue. She considers both of these facts about herself with equal pride. Margaret feels it immediately, like a disturbance in the force. She does not say anything. She exhales. Not loudly, not dramatically, just a very specific, very controlled exhale that communicates. I have witnessed this. I am registering this, and I will not be forgetting this anytime soon. Youssef is looking at the menu board. He has no idea.
Enjoying the story? Follow us so you don't miss the next one.
We are now in the 3rd minute of what is shaping up to be an absolutely classic boat. Margaret has deployed the stiffened spine, a foundational move, clean execution. The message, I have noticed, I disapprove, and I would not be telling you directly. Youssef, who is now looking at his phone, earns an immediate deduction. Looking at your phone after committing a queue crime signals indifference to the gravity of the situation. Margaret clocks this. She turns just slightly to Dave behind her. A look is exchanged. Dave nods, once, slowly. They have now formed an alliance, without speaking, without even fully making eye contact. 2 strangers, united by a shared sense of justice and the deeply British belief that saying nothing is somehow louder than saying something. Priya looks up from her phone. She doesn't know exactly what happened, but she can read the room. She reads it correctly. She is now also aware. Gerald, at the front, is handed his soup. He says, "Lovely, thank you." He has had the best interaction of anyone in this building. Gerald is thriving. And now, the final act. Youssef reaches the counter, orders his flat white, smile at the barista. He has warm smile. The barista smiles back. And in that moment, Margaret performs what I can only call the controlled exhale of maximum suffering. It is barely audible. It communicates, I did not come here today to witness this. I did not queue, correctly as I always do, to stand behind a man who is now being rewarded with a smile and a flat white when what he deserves is a formal written notice. She wants coffee, but more than that, she wants justice. She will get the coffee. Youssef says thank you, takes his coffee, and walks out, smiling. I called Youssef after he told me this story, and I asked him, walk me through what were you thinking when you stepped into that gap? He said, and I'm quoting directly here, Vinny, there was a gap. stepped into a gap. In Morocco, a gap is an invitation. A gap says, "Come, there is room. We welcome you." A gap is hospitality. I was being welcomed by the gap. Nobody told me the gap was a trap. He didn't push anyone. He didn't say anything rude. He saw a space and he stepped into it the way a reasonable person in most of the world would. But also, Youssef, the gap was not for you. In Britain, the gap is not hospitality. The gap is sacred. The gap is an empty space that belongs to the rhythm of the cue itself. It is the pause between musical notes. You cannot live inside a pause. And this is actually the part I want to throw to you, because I honestly want to know. If you were Margaret, if someone stepped in front of you in a queue, clearly by accident, clearly not from here, what would you do? Option A, you say something politely, 4 seconds, situation resolved. Or option B, you say nothing, you feel it deeply, and you discuss it with your partner at dinner. Because I have put this question to people from about 10 different countries, and I can tell you, the split is almost perfectly along cultural lines, and neither side can understand the other. Drop your answer in the comment. I check them, I read them, I will absolutely be reading them while also queuing for something correctly.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. Vinny, this is pretty funny, but is it real? Is the British queue actually a cultural phenomenon, or are you just making fun of Margaret? First of all, Margaret is a character. No real Margarets were harmed for the making of this episode, okay? Second of all, it is extremely real, and there is peer-reviewed research to prove it. Kay Fox spent years studying British social behavior, going to pubs, supermarkets, train stations, garden centers, and what she found is that for British people, the queue is a daily test of moral character. It says, are you the kind of person who respects other people's time? Are you decent? Are you civilized? Cutting the queue doesn't mean you are in a hurry. It means you think you are more important than everyone else. And in a culture that is deeply constitutionally allergic to people thinking they are more important than everyone else, that is a serious charge. And then here's the bit that I honestly love. The correct British response to this serious charge is to say nothing about it to the person who committed it, ever. Because saying something out loud would be making a scene. And making a scene is worse than the original crime. So the whole system runs on the understanding that everyone will feel everything very deeply, communicated through atmosphere and eyebrow movement alone, and nobody will ever achieve the direct resolution that will take 4 seconds. Is it efficient? Absolutely not. Is it fascinating? Genuinely, yes. Does Youssef now know all of this? He does. That's what immigration does, quietly, without announcing itself. You don't just move to a country. Over time, slowly, piece by piece, the country moves into you. He told me he felt both proud and horrified, which is honestly about right for Britain. Youssef, if you're listening, you are one of us now. I'm sorry. Welcome to the queue. I'm Vinny. This is Between Passports, where we ask the question nobody wants to answer out loud. Do I hear an accent?
We are Between Passports. Glad you're here. Share your story at betweenpassports.com.